So, how do all these new cultures that we see emerge? Our culture today is very different than American culture was 50 years ago. It's extremely different. So, how do these cultures kind of change and grow and new ones kind of pop up and things like that? Well, we're going to talk about that today in our lesson after we continue working with some Christianity stuff. So, today is the 13th, and we're going to be able to describe the practice of Christianity in East Africa and the different city states that formed there. We have a do now, we have notes, and then practice today. Today is also National Rubber Ducky Day. So if you have one, go ahead and squeak it. What is Duncan doing? Duncan is being silly. So this is your do now. You're just looking at the map and answering the questions based on population per country or region. So you can go ahead and pause. All right, so let's go over it. Sorry if you hear crunching in the background. Duncan is chewing on a bone, or actually on an antler. So number one, which country generally has fewer people per square mile, Mali or Morocco? So I'm going to find Mali, which is right here. Oh my God, he's gonna break his tooth. And we see they are 0 to 2. And then Morocco has several different colors. So we see a wider range, 0 to 2, 2 to 25, 25 to 60, even 60 to 125 right here at the top. So we're going to put Mali there for our answer. Mali has fewer. Are there more people per square mile around Accra or Timbuktu? So I'm going to find Accra, which is right here, and we're in that red color, so that max color. And then Timbuktu's in Mali, so no, it's going to be that 0 to 2. So we're going to put Accra here. Accra, I'm assuming. Would you consider the central part of the area shown lightly settled or densely settled? So we're looking at the central part of this region or part of Africa, and most of it's in the center. Actually, all of it in the center really is the lightest color. So it's definitely lightly settled. And then what is the number of people per square mile in the band of population that runs from Morocco to Tunisia? So Morocco is here, Tunisia is here. What is the number of people per square mile in the band that runs? So there's a couple that run through it, but this one goes from the coast and goes to the coast. So we're looking at 2 to 25. We have some notes. We have 2 review notes from yesterday because they're actually more applicable today, and it doesn't hurt to go over them again because these 2 words are going to be following us in future civilizations and empires and Europe and all of that. So the first word is a stone town, and these were city-states that were made up of multi-storied stone houses. So kind of basically like an apartment building, like stacked up houses on top of each other, literally. Um, a monk, again, just as a review, is a man who dedicates their life to worshiping God. And then we have dynasty, which is a ruling family. All right, so practice. One thing that and it's really helpful, honestly, to come to my office hours because I go over, typically during office hours, I do the lesson with the kids, with you guys, and I think that some students can vouch for me and say it's really helpful. We literally do everything together, and I answer questions, and it's cool. So we have Christianity in Axum. So, Christianity grew significantly after 340. Around this time, 2 Syrian brothers, Syria is a country, Syrian brothers on their way to India were shipwrecked in Axum. They were captured and put to work in the king's court. One brother, Frumentius, became a trusted civil servant. Frumentius was a Christian. Under his influence, King Izana became a Christian. Monks continued to establish Christianity throughout the kingdom. Monks are men who dedicate themselves to worshiping God. So I'm just going to look at my question. And number one, how did Frumentius come in contact with King Izana? So one thing I always like to do is I like to look for words or names, names or words in the question that are very specific, and then I go into the text and scan for those words. So I'm going to look for Frumentius first. So I see Frumentius here, became a trusted civil servant, doesn't really talk about how anything with King Izana yet. Frumentius was a Christian. But we do want to know how he became, okay, yeah, a civil servant. So I'm going to go ahead and exit. I'm going to restate. Frumentius came into contact with King Izana because he was made a civil servant after he was captured. And then number two, I see which king of Axum converted to Christianity. Well, it's asking specifically which king. So I'm going to go back into my text and find the word king. Okay, I see that here. And it says, under his influence, King Izana became a Christian. So, King Izana converted to Christianity. And then I look at my next question. It says, what was one result of the Zagwe's being Christian? Then I think about what I just read. Was there any mentioning of Zagwe? No. So that means I need to keep reading or looking for that word that is very specific, Zagwe. So let me present. Axum slowly began to weaken in the 600s due to economic problems, money problems. Another factor was the spread of Islam to the area. Eventually, a new dynasty called the Zagwe emerged in what is now Ethiopia. The Zagwe rose to power in the mid-1000s and continued the Christian tradition. They replaced officials with those who were Christian. They also traded successfully with the Muslim world. Zagwe rulers saw Ethiopia as a Christian holy land. They carved huge churches out of solid rock. The religious literature and music produced during the Zagwe period are still used in the Ethiopian Christian church. So what was one result of the Zagwe's being Christian? So think about Zagwe's are Christian, they come into power. What happens to Christianity? Inevitably. Right, Christianity spreads. Christianity basically becomes the country's religion. So let's do, why does it do that? I hate that. Okay. A result of the Zagwe dynasty being Christian was that Christianity spread and Ethiopia became a center for Christianity. Cool. All right, so for the rest of your lesson today, you are going to continue to read or scan. Miss Guthrie probably won't be happy with me, but when I do historical text, or if I were in your situation, what I would be doing is, again, reading my questions first, looking for keywords. So number 4, how were some city-states formed between the 800s and the 1400s? Well, this is very specific about the years, so I'm going to go into the text and just scan for those years. And wouldn't you know, right here in paragraph 1, it says 800s and 1400s. So that's where my answer is going to most likely be. My face is covering up the tortoise shell. And so again, um, another year here. Years are really easy to find. Obviously, they stick out in a text, so that's what I typically do. I don't really, typically if I was in your situation, I really wouldn't close read it. I would just look for keywords. And then you're going to answer this one question. You really don't have too much to do. These are just multiple choice, and the questions are from today's lesson, and some are from yesterday's lesson. So it's kind of like a quick review over the Eastern African empires. This part for sure is going to be graded, absolutely. So make sure you don't just blow this part off. I want to see what you retained or what you have from yesterday and today. So if you think, oh, it's a section review Tuesday and Wednesday, she's not going to grade it. Yes, I absolutely am. So make sure you complete this. And then let me, so then again, submit, read the checklist. Don't forget to fill out your attendance form, the norm. Okay. And then tomorrow we're going to start talking about, African society, which is very interesting and I really enjoy it. We'll kind of talk about how families are made up. Then on Friday we'll talk about religion and things like that. So have a great day. Get all your classes done. Thanks for doing my class. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all tomorrow.